Alright, so I just got another video here. So lately there's been a lot of talk about, voodoo and stuff like that. And basically, what it's come down to has basically been people more or less implying, like, if you're black, real black people, you know, they're into like voodoo and stuff like that. They're not into that Christianity stuff. That's what the white man wants you to do. And, the white man is so scared of voodoo and he doesn't want you to do voodoo. And, the whole story. See, let me tell you what the business is. See, the white man, he doesn't want you to do voodoo because, it'll tap into your kundalini, you dig, and, da da da, and all that kind of stuff, all right? And you've been getting a lot of that lately, with people talking about, 1804 in Haiti and stuff like that. If you're black, if you're actually black, I don't have to bring up videos for you. You probably already know what I'm talking about. And all I want to show you guys is that you might want to think twice before you jump into things like that, because the so-called ancestors actually warned us about jumping into things like voodoo and things of that nature. So with that, let me continue real quick. Alright, so when we look up the transatlantic slave trade, when we look at some of the regions that were the highest participants in it, you get places like, Senegal and Gambia, Guinea, the Gold Coast, basically west to central Africa, alright? And these are some of the different kind of ethnic groups that were mostly involved in the slave trade. The Bakongo, the Mandi, the Akon, the Igbo, Yoruba, all these various sort of ethnic groups. So, to take a look on it on a map, it would look pretty much like that. So basically, all along western to central Africa is where most of the, the slaves from the slave trade would have been taken. People who were our ancestors. So now, when we look at people like that, most of these people would have been what are called the Bantu peoples, alright? Bantu peoples is used as a general label for the 300 to 600 ethnic groups in Africa who speak Bantu languages. They inhabit a geographical area stretching east and southward from Central Africa, across the African Great Lakes region down to Southern Africa. And also, I see absolutely no reason. There seems to be this insistence that Bantus only start from like Cameroon on down. I don't really see a reason for that. I believe Bantus are also not just Central Africa, but West Africa as well. But, that's a whole nother issue. But basically, all of these areas that were involved in the slave trade, all of those ethnic groups fall under the Bantu people. So, when we look at some of the ancestors of the Bantu people, there's like hundreds of different groups, but they all have fairly similar things. So, the fairly similar grouping, the like super grouping of it, would be what's often called the Proto-Bantu people, okay? It talks a little bit about the Proto-Bantu people here. Around 3,000 years ago, speakers of the Proto-Bantu language group began a millennia-long series of migrations eastward from their homeland, blah, blah, blah. If I were to really do this justice, I think don't trust your enemy, so to speak. And when they talk about where the Bantu people allegedly come from, it just doesn't make any sense. Bantu people did not come from the areas that they allegedly came from, eastern Nigeria and Cameroon. They would have had to come up out of nowhere, and that didn't happen. So really, the Bantu people migrated from there, from the north, but that's a whole another video. But at any rate, let's just keep going. The Bantu people, again, hundreds of various different Bantu groups, and they speak hundreds of different languages. But there are general similarities in the language, and the general similarities in the language can generally be broken down and studied by linguists, and it kind of talks about, some of that here. And let's just start skipping right to the chase. So now we go to like a Proto-Bantu language, which is basically, a bunch of linguists attempted to analyze modern Bantu languages. And from, hundreds of different modern Bantu languages, they tried to reconstruct what would seem to be a Proto-Bantu language. So let's read a little bit about this. The Proto-Bantu is the reconstructed common ancestor of the 550 or so Bantu languages which are spread across Central and Southern Africa. It is thought to have originally been spoken in West Central Africa in the area of what is now Cameroon. And again, trust your enemy only so much. Approximately 3,000 to 4,000 years ago, and again, they love to make things seem a little further back than they really were, blah, 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 right? But, it's interesting to note, like other Proto-Bantu languages, there is no record of Proto-Bantu. Its words and pronunciation have been reconstructed by linguists from the common vocabulary which has been reconstructed on the basis of present-day Bantu languages. It appears that agriculture, fishing, and the use of boats were already known to the Bantu people before their expansion began, but ironworking was still unknown. This places the date of the start of the expansion somewhere between 3000 BC and 800 BC. Now again, only trust your enemy so much. There's so many lies in this world. If I were to really do a video on who I think the Bantu people are, this would not be that video. This video would take a long time. There is someone who links the Bantu with the Y-DNA type E1B1A. I think you ought to enter that into YouTube, and you'll get a bit of an idea of who I think the Bantu people are. But at any rate, let's take a look here. Now, again, these professional linguists, this is pretty much some of their work here, at this website right here. And it's an appendix for a select Proto-Bantu vocabulary. The reconstructed Proto-Bantu items below derive from BLR3, Bantu Lexical Reconstruction 3, a database that can be accessed via the internet at this website right here. This database contains some 10,000 suggested Proto-Bantu reconstructions, which constitute the collected efforts of several Bantu scholars whose work stretched over more than a century. The items listed below were extracted during March-April 2005, and they represent so-called main entries, basic reconstructed etonyms. Currently, the BLR3 database recognizes a total of some 1,400 main entries. And these are basically some of the areas where some of the languages were collected from. Alright. So now, when we look at this Proto-Bantu, basically, dictionary, we can get to, basically, the meat of this video. Now, voodoo is pronounced voodoo, right? And, you know, you'll have your typical, you know, Afrocentrist types, and they will come by and they'll tell you, well, let me tell you what the business is. So you need to get on this voodoo, you dig, because, you know, this is what the ancestors wanted you to do, and and all that garbage. Well, let's look at what the ancestors really thought about voodoo. And the proof is right here in the pudding. Right here. On the list of Proto-Bantu words, here we go. Voodoo. Definition: reptile, monitor, lizard, lizard. And that is mainly, I guess, the region that it came from. But this is the definition of, you know, voodoo, okay? Voodoo. Reptile. Monitor lizard. Lizard. AKA reptilian, alright? Do not get into voodoo unless you want your, you know, soul to be turned into a reptilian, basically. Who were the main practitioners of voodoo? Basically, you had a village, and you had a bunch of normal people, and amongst these normal people, they would be these weird people, and these weird people would be the ones who would be doing the voodoo. Well, who would these weird people be? These weird people, among a bunch of normal black people, would be the voodoo. They would be the reptiles. The monitor lizards, the lizards, they would be the reptilians. The reptilians among us would be the ones who would be doing this black magic, okay? So yeah, when our ancestors called it voodoo and you know, most of the village stayed away from those witch doctors, what were they saying? They were saying those witch doctors were really reptiles. And if you're a real human, you need to stay away from it, okay? Real humans should not ever mess with voodoo, okay? The voodoo priests and all that, and the priestesses and all that, they are all what? Reptiles, reptilians, okay? And, you know, I'm not going to leave you hanging. What is a reptilian really? Well, a reptilian really is just a demon or fallen angel from hell that's pretending to be human, but they're not. Okay, you know, long short of it, you know, like it or not, some people are real humans, and some people are demons and fallen angels who pretend to be humans, but they're not. You ever wonder why you would have these black people, and sometimes they would just act all crazy and like seeming like they would just try to bring black people down, and you don't know why they look so ugly or they act so stupid? Well, this is why. They're not actual real black humans. They are voodoo. Reptiles. Monitor lizards. Lizards. Okay? And what is their religion? Their religion is voodoo. Witchcraft. Alright? These people, their spirits are not really human spirits. They're demon and fallen angel spirits from hell. They're reptiles, they're reptilians, they're monitor lizards, and this is their religion. The religion of voodoo, or as our ancient ancestors called it, voodoo. Okay? That's where voodoo comes from. Alright? And you know what? That's gonna be your way out. That, let me tell you what the business is. Do voodoo, you dig? that kind of stuff, I'm gonna tell it to you. I'm gonna tell it to you straight. A lot of people who mess with this witchcraft, they get cloned. I'm gonna just lay it out there. They get cloned. A demon or fallen angel switches their real body out with a demon or fallen angel, and they become the voodoo. They become a reptile, a monitor lizard, a lizard. It's an invasion of the body snatchers, man. Alright? When you mess with that voodoo, a reptile will basically get to steal your soul and pretend to be you. Basically. And of course, when I say reptile, I mean, a reptilian. And when I say that, I mean a demon or fallen angel from hell. Alright? Really, your only way out is going to be Christ. Okay? Christ is going to be your only way out. And, these Bantu people, truthfully, I believe the Bantu people were the Hebrew people. Okay? I believe the Bantu were the Hebrews of the Bible. And a lot of that goes to this whole Bantu E1B1A YDNA connection. There's a lot of videos on that. If you look it up on YouTube, I'm not going to get into that so much here. But yeah, basically I'm trying to show you guys, don't believe some of these people who get pushed by the media to be, to speak in front of hundreds of thousands of black people, and every video they gets hundreds of thousands of views, and you wonder why. Well, this is why. They're trying to get black people into black magic, which is going to end up making them lose their soul, okay? You don't need that black magic. All the magic you get can come from Christ, all right? And it should, because you're God's chosen people. You're the Hebrews of the Bible. You don't need to get involved into that voodoo stuff, because that's for the fake black people. And who are the fake black people? Well, I'll show it to you again. The fake black people are the voodoo, the reptiles, the monitor lizards, the reptilians, the people who pretend like they're black, but they're not. Okay? And there's a lot more to it. I hope you guys can look at some of my my other videos. I go a lot into these kind of topics, but let's do one thing real quick. Oh, that's a good one. Oh. Look here. I mean, that's a painting, but you don't see the serpent? You don't get it? I mean, you gonna be stupid all your life? These people who are voodoo priestess, these are not normal people, okay? These are not your average, everyday people. Look at all these snakes. Look at all the snake imagery, alright? Your ancestors warned you, okay? Look at this woman. She's handling the snake with ease. A real black woman would not handle a snake like that. She'd be screaming. Okay, black women, they don't just handle snakes like this. You think this is a real black woman? Nah, man. This is a reptile. This is a creature. They're both reptiles, all right? This is a reptilian. You think this is just some and some of these people in these pictures, they might be like, they might be like regular people who go to these people maybe for magic or charms or for love or whatnot. But hey, man, I'm telling you, dog. Look at this lady. Don't you see black people who look like this now and then? And aren't they like really, really weird? I know you've seen them. Okay. And aren't they like really, really weird? Doesn't this look like your typical candy lady in the hood? But she's like kind of weird looking. And they ain't just women, okay? Don't get it twisted. They ain't just women. Reptilians come in all shapes and colors and genders, quote unquote. But I ain't getting into that. I think snakes can kind of change their genders, maybe. But that's another video. She's a voodoo priestess, but her name is Manbo. Isn't that kind of weird? They all kind of big boned, aren't they? They either big boned or like super, super skinny with no fat. Ain't no like regular curvy women. But they all look kind of weird, these women. Because they ain't normal human women. They ain't reptile women, alright? So, I hope, this video has been informative for you guys. I hope that you kind of get the point. And so whenever someone comes around telling you get into that voodoo crap, man, I mean, just think about a woman like that, okay? That ain't no regular woman, dog. These women, these are reptile women, alright? These are not regular human women, and your ancestors warned you from them, and you don't need to be messing with their religion. The religion of voodoo, the religion of voodoo, which is the religion of the snakes. Take a look at this woman. Look at her cheekbones. I mean, look at them. That's a strong looking woman, ain't it? She's got a cheekbones like Popeye, man. Dude, better start waking up. These reptile women, man. Yeah. They ain't gonna lead you to nothing but this. Nothing but death. So I hope this video has been good for you guys. Hope you maybe learned a little something. And don't be falling for these hucksters. The only way out is this. The Heavenly Father, His Son, and the Holy Spirit, and building a personal connection with them every day. So with that, I'm out. Peace.